Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
I really don't do anything.
There you go.
I'm pretty boring. Yeah, I might be recovering from eating too many cookies because I don't really eat sweets because I have no self-discipline. So if I start to eat sweets, I will only eat sweets. So I try to stay away from everything.
You're right. I'm the same way, man. I am the same exact way. That's why I can't even go buy Hostess cakes anymore. Because, why buy them? They're going to be gone the moment you open that box, and then you're crying in front of the mirror, going, "What happened?" If
I buy a bunch of fruit and a bunch of junk food, the fruit will rot, and I'll buy all the junk food. So I do not buy any junk food at all.
Really cool. Well, coming up, speaking of cool, on the 29th, Kooliverse Night has become really a staple in the area. And I mean, just the last couple of months, because I manage the community calendar, I see all the events on Facebook. Everyone's responding to these, and I'm seeing people just taking pictures and post them the next day. This has got to be awesome.
I'm digging it. We've been doing it almost 2.5 years now. Mm-hmm. And thanks to people like you getting the word out, we're trying to grow it. It doesn't always get bigger, but we got a banger of a lineup for coming up on the 29th. We got Steph Plant, a local acoustic musician who's unbelievable.
She is.
And she usually brings a couple friends. She plays 6 to 8. And then we've got another local musician, Ian Whitmore. He's going to be doing some of his solo project. And then really our headliner is Hope and Therapy. Hope and Therapy, been around forever. Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite local bands. I'm really hoping they're going to draw a good local crowd. And then closing up, we have They Need Machines to Fly.
That sounds fun. I like the band name right there. That's what sells it.
No, I heard they're really good. I have not actually seen them yet, but from everybody I've talked to, they're actually really good.
Well, and Michael, when a couple of years ago when I was in St. Louis radio, I was telling Hartman at night, man, this Alton scene really in the term of art, because he'd say music, I'd say not just music, arts in general. We have so many talented artists that are all around us, especially in Alton, especially in the Riverbend area. Add the Metro East component onto it and you have a hotbed. What have you been able to kind of see for yourself as you're putting on these really cool events? You're getting to meet so many different people that are doing awesome stuff. Is it a promising tomorrow for the art scene in the region?
It definitely is. We've always had that anchor of the community, Jacoby Arts Center. Mm-hmm. That pretty much everything revolves around them. But what excites me is we've got such a large group of young people.
Yep.
And I need that as an old guy. I need all of the inspiration and energy I can surround myself with. I kind of feel like the music community and the art community, we grow together. I'm so inspired by the local music. Without inspiration from others, everything becomes a little stale. I feel like we all kind of push each other to do something better.
Yep, 100%. Well, and it's showing, too. It's almost like a snow globe effect, because when the Conservatory came into to town after Bottle and Barrel, I was excited to see what this would develop into, and seeing Justin and Caleb and all those guys and your contributions, too, going into this. I mean, it's really kind of, to me, laminated what Alton could really be, and that's an incubator of art success, really, and that's just how I feel about it. No matter if it's music or what, it goes hand in hand, like you just said, that snow globe effect of inspiration.
I'm really fortunate and blessed to be at the Conservatory. They let me pretty much show all my artwork there, which without them, I don't know what I'd do. But we have a heck of a lineup coming up. My event's Friday, and then Saturday we have another event headlined by Biff Gnarly.
That's right.
And Daisy Chain. Daisy Chain. Listen, I'm an old man. I'm getting in the mosh pit. Right? A couple times I thought I was going to have chest pains, getting out of daisy chain show,
Take a baby aspirin up the heart.
Why is he laying on the ground? I needed to rest. But
well, then Spilly Nelson's the next day, aren't they?
Yeah, and then we got Spilly, and it's no joke. It's literally the best of the best, back to back to back. And I don't know if I'm going to make it through those 3 days, but I'll be trying.
That's all you can do is try, right?
Right.
Well, you moved in to the area 20 years ago. We were talking before we came on here. And over the 20 years, how have you seen Alton grow and kind of change with the art scene? Because as kids, my generation, this is the best it's ever been. But I'm sure for other generations, they go, man, no, let me take you back to, all these local bands. Let me take you back to this. Are there have there been any intervals of growth, any kind of stallmates that you've been a part of or witnessed?
What really strikes me and comes to mind is, when I first moved here, Alton did not have a good reputation. And as far as if you were in St. Louis, you'd be I'm from Alton, and people are like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, whatever. But actually, I moved here because the cost of living was so affordable. And since I've lived here, they have done so many improvements to this town. And especially here recently, it's really been ramped up. I know Alton Works and Alton Main Street, two local organizations, do a lot to help the downtown area. And I think a lot of it got put on hold, when COVID hit. And now it's starting to pick up steam again. I'm really excited about new projects, not only up and down Broadway, but I'm really hoping that this riverfront, I've heard rumblings of there being a national park. I'm telling you, it's still the right time to come to Alton. Come here, live here, buy a house here, open a business here, do something, because once this takes off, now this is the ground floor.
Absolutely.
It's still time to get in.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. Whenever you start, can you take me through your background as an artist too? Because I find it really fascinating, because you're someone who, I've loved talking to you because it's very genuine, and hearing about how you draw inspiration from other folks that are coming into the area and using their art to kind of inspire you to make more of what you do. What kind of led you to this path?
Well, I cannot draw. I can barely write. I don't read. Anyhow, but hey, that's what makes me the people. A people person or person of the people. Anyhow, after high school, I graduated in '89. I'm 52 years old, unfortunately. But I went to trade school to be a Harley-Davidson mechanic. So I kind of got, a background in mechanics, and then quit that, and then did about 20 years of home remodeling and carpentry. Once upon a time, I tried to start my own business making children's theme furniture and doll houses, like bunk beds that look like castles, and life-size almost monster trucks that have beds in them. Anyhow,
really cool.
But anyhow, so I've always had a great appreciation for art. Like, some of my favorite classes in college were art appreciation and art history, but I've never taken any art classes. I can't draw, I can't paint, I can't do any of that. But my background in carpentry and mechanics has given me a different set of tools to work with, where I feel like I do things carpenters would not attempt and other artists can't pull off. I'm almost as happy of the engineering of many of my pieces as I am the actual content. My latest piece is 12 feet by 9 feet. It's at the Conservatory. It's got lights in it. It has a 1968 Chrysler New Yorker front bumper in it, a 1974 Rolls-Royce Silver Spur grill, 5 of the largest 80s boomboxes ever made. So I make large collages, shall we say. I mean, my latest piece weighs about 450 pounds.
Oh, wow.
It took an 800-pound wench and 9 people to hang it. You know, transporting it actually was too big to actually get into my trailer. So we actually pushed it down the street from where I made it to the conservatory.
No way. How'd that go?
No, it went pretty cool because as we're, like 7 o'clock at night and we're rolling this 12-foot by 9-foot monstrosity on a scaffolding down the street about almost a mile, and the people, traffic and people in the stores as we were passing were quite surprised to see us rolling down the road.
I'd say so, man. Well, one of the coolest things I've ever seen, and I mean this seriously, is the kaleidoscope. Whenever we went to, I forgot, I think it was Night Market, that's what it was. And to see it, I mean, it's beautiful. The inside beautiful. But the engineering it takes to really make it functional is, to me, so mind-blowing. And is that just, like you said, the years of experience?
Thank you very much, because that's one of the pieces I'm really talking about, like as far as I'm as proud of the engineering as the entertainment, because it's 17 foot long. It probably weighs about 2,000 pounds. It's a kaleidoscope, anyhow, but it has a color wheel at one end that you can turn from the opposite end. And, I'm very conscious of producing things for festivals that kids like, old people like, families like, people who are intoxicated like. But there are no gears, there's no teeth, there's no transmission, there's no pulleys, there's no belts. It all works on basically a gravity system. So anyhow, it's, your child's not going to get their finger caught in something and have it lopped off,
Right.
I actually, I used to work at City Museum back in the late 90s when Bob Castley was there. So
not to cut you off, I was going to ask if you ever took any inspiration from the City Museum or any of those Castley's inventions, because he's a genius.
Absolutely. Like, I didn't go to art school, but I spent several years working with Bob Castley, and as far as I'm concerned, that was the greatest education and influence that I could have possibly got.
100%.
Like,
oh, wow.
I take over his, I'm not saying legacy, I'm part of his tree of people who, I can attribute my success partially to him,
Right.
But anybody that's been to the City Museum knows that you will never forget the first time you go to the City Museum.
Nope.
And I've taken on that as my calling, that when you come to the conservatory and you see my work, you will never forget the first day you have walked in and seen it. That's my absolute goal.
Absolutely. And why don't we do this? Perfect time to pause. Can you hang out with me for a second? Let's pay a quick bill on this 26th day of December. It's the day after Christmas, and we're all still recovering. Great conversations with Michael Snider. We're talking all about Kooliverse Couture Night coming down the pipeline on the 29th day of December. A quick break. We come right back after this.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, Free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
RiverBender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
And I'll turn right back around. You can see me turning. Give me one reason to steer, and I'll turn right back around. You can see me.
Tracy Chapman might give you 1. I'll give you 50 on why you should hang out over at the Conservatory at the end of the week. It's the last week of the year, and you guys are just doing everything right. Kooliverse Night on the 29th, followed by Biff Gnarly, followed by Spilly Nelson. This is really exciting, man. This is great.
Buckle up, muchachos.
So before we dive back into Kooliverse Couture Night, because I want to talk about how this really came to be what it is, because I see so many people seriously taking pictures and going, man, we got cool last night, you know, and all those fun things. I got to ask you more about Bob Castley, because no one realizes on this side of the river how much of a genius I think he is. And I just got to ask you, what are some of the, if you could, share a story or two?
Totally mad scientist, like creative genius, but nuts. I got 2 pretty good Bob Castley stories. So speaking of the holidays, surrounded by this, you know, decoration stuff. So anyhow, at the time there was a lady who was second in charge, and she comes to me and she's like, hey, we need to build a throne for Santa Claus. We're going to have Santa Claus here, and we need a giant chair for Santa Claus to sit in, which is right up my wheelhouse, because I was like, used to make furniture and stuff. Like,
yeah.
So I'm like, it's on. Like, I'm going to make the biggest damn chair you've ever, like, it's like, watch this. So I'm starting, I'm working on this thing. Bob walks in. Bob's like, hey, what are you doing? I said, hey, I'm making a giant throne for Santa. Dude went off. He's like, oh, I hate Christmas. Christmas is a capitalist plot to take over the poor. And I mean, dude just lost it. And you know, I want to say that they still did wind up having Santa there, but he was not on a throne that I made. I don't, you know, he wasn't none too happy about that. When I first went to City Museum, and it was back when they used to have this place called the Cabin, which was that little wooden cabin outside in front, but it used to be a bar. Well, the bar didn't have its own restroom, so they would leave one of the doors unlocked so you could go in and use the restroom, which was automatically a license to go run roughshod through that whole
buck
like,
wild. You
people
know,
would just walk in that door and then go explore the entire museum, like after hours with no supervision at all. Oh, and actually, Bob's son Max and his friends, they were underage, but they'd be running all through there. But one night, Bob and his girlfriend at the time were swimming naked in the aquarium, the major. And I'm telling you what, at that time, they never cleaned that thing. I'm talking like, looked like there was fur growing on the inside of that thing. I mean, it was, but I don't know that him and his, you know, lady at that time, they were way cool.
They were way cool.
It's also cracking me up how Bob would have these boxing matches where he would fight people, and there was probably no shortage of people that wanted to fight Bob. At the time I wasn't in very good shape, but there were several times where I was like, yep, I'd like to fight Bob.
Well, to me, I think that's what life's missing right now is some of that type of personality where it's, it might be a little quirky, whatever, but god dang, man, whenever you're achieving what you're achieving, let the person be creative and be them and just let them keep producing.
Whether I like what somebody's doing or don't like what somebody's doing, somebody please do something.
Right.
Like, I mean, come on. Like, that's what I kind of think about me. I mean, like, love me or hate me or be indifferent, but, somebody do something.
You're right, because and it's not just, and they like to, I don't generalize on the show, but sometimes people think, well, a lot of us are just the armchair quarterbacks on Facebook commenting. And while that's true, there's tons of people that do that and they're great at it. If you want to be the best at what you can be, I guess that's it. But to be able to actually say like you did, just do something. Get off your butt, get off your ass, go out and do whatever you want to do. Be happy, be the best, but do it. And that's why I think this is having such success, just circling back to Kooliverse Couture Night, because you created almost like, I hate to say it, like a following with this. Because I saw the pictures and every time I kept getting more and more intrigued. And then all of a sudden, everybody was sharing it. And I thought, this is really what it's all about.
You mentioned a couple things like try to be the best. I got a chip on my shoulder. I got the Napoleon complex. I got, I don't look at art. I look at art as a community and not a competition. Mm-hmm. But within that, I'm trying to take over the world. I'm trying to shock the world. I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to make a difference. Like like Bob Castley, he put a stamp on this town, the world. Like, of all the places in the world that's that ranks somewhere within the most interesting things I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
And I've got that kind of chip. Like I'm trying to move the needle. I'm trying to change people's lives. I'm trying to make a difference that will last forever, outlast me in So in my own little way, I'm trying to be the best.
Well, and honestly, I think you're doing it the right way, because I knew right away. I'm like, this is a revolution here is what's coming with arts, and what you're doing is collaborating too. It's not just, the fact that you have all these ways to bring folks in and say, hey, come get a taste of this. Because once you get a taste, you're coming back for about 4 or 5 plates full. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All that stuff. I mean, no one realizes how huge of an impact that alone is, because you're bringing in folks a lot of times from St. Louis or wherever that are coming in, or maybe down the road, but they're still exploring afterwards. They're still getting to know the people, which we are the biggest investment the city has is us, because without people, you can't get anything done. That's my thought always.
I want the city to pimp me hard.
Yeah.
Like it's a win-win. Like, if more people come to the city, more people will see my art. If more people come to see my art, more people will come to the city. I've actually got a small website on the Alton tourism site, which is fantastic. Yeah.
Did you ever think that you'd be able to find yourself in this setting? Because I mean, it seems like you're a pretty, really, not spiritual, but you definitely, you're very, art driven, and you're very inspirationally driven. But did you ever think, man, 20 years in one spot?
I moved around a lot.
Yeah.
As a younger person, and 20 years is definitely the longest I've ever lived anywhere. And I'm real happy about it. Mm-hmm. I like Alton. The first time I moved here, I did it because of the low housing prices.
Right.
I bought a 2-story, 3-bedroom house with a 2-car garage for $12,000. Yeah.
Wow.
And about half the houses in my neighborhood have been torn down.
Oh, well. Yeah.
Which is, I kind of like that too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't mind living
Well, no.
kind of in the Wild West, I like my neighborhood. It's really run down, and we all kind of look after each other, but we all kind of do whatever we want.
Yeah,
It's
right
like
on.
There's, I can throw a giant party with 100 people and be loud till 2 o'clock in the morning, and none of my neighbors complain because they do the same thing occasionally. You know? So we like it.
Really cool. Well, circling back to just the couture nights, how did these come about?
Basically, you know, the Conservatory offered me one night a month to do whatever I wanted. So I started having art shows and kind of all my favorite things. We've got art, fashion, food, and music.
Well, there you
So
go.
we usually have vendors that vend clothing or jewelry or art. We'll have several vendors here in December. Every event, we're going to have artisan vendors and some kind of gourmet food available and a killer music lineup and an art show.
Well, in terms of what Kooliverse Couture Night is, just kind of talking with you the last 25, 30 minutes, how long we've been talking, is, you know, just hearing about some of the ways that you draw inspiration, hearing about, when young kids playing some great music, I'm drawing inspiration for that. So is all the little components that make Couture Night what it is, Kooliverse Couture Night, are all those things just in your wheelhouse that you thought, well, this is my night, this is what it's going to be?
The best part about being a visual artist is getting to meet band members.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you're like, go to see a band, they're like really good. And you're like, you know, I don't know. Now I get to meet the band. I get to backstage. I get to hang out. Like, you know, it's like, hey, oh, you're the dude that does the art? Hey, man, come hang out. Like, all right.
Really cool, man. Now, out of all the pieces you've ever worked on, I know this is a very basic question, but I think it's interesting too, in the way that it would kind of tell a little bit more about who you are. In terms of all that you worked on, what is your favorite piece and why?
Multiple opinions
Right.
on that. On one side, it's kind of like trying to choose your favorite kid.
Right, it's very hard.
So, and then on the other, and you know, point two, it's like depending on the mood I'm in, you know, it's kind of like music.
Yeah.
Like, what's your favorite song? Well, today it might be this, tomorrow it might be that. It might be the same thing for 6 months, but you know, every 10 years it might, whatever. You know, it could vary. Often, it's what I'm currently working on.
I love it.
Because I get bored really quick with things. Like, almost, I make it, I hang it, I look at it, I'm super over the moon excited about it, and then a week later I'm bored. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like ready to move on. But certainly this last piece I just made, the 9 foot by 12 foot, I'm pretty happy with that. There's everything I make, I want the next thing to be the best thing I've ever made, and that's very important to me.
Yeah.
So often the latest thing I've made winds up being my favorite at the time.
Well, that's very interesting, though, and I mean, it really just shows a little bit of who you. Because I always think that there's more to just the piece. It's why is it that piece, you know? Because it really showcases who the artist truly is. And just hearing you, man, the last 30 minutes or so we've already been talking, just to hear about, you know, no, the next piece is going to be the best ever. You know, those are, to me, that's a mindset of not only be successful in what you're doing, but for anybody. You know, wake up the next day wanting it to be better than the last, and no matter if it's a project or work, you name it. You know, that's just my thought.
No, I'm really happy. Like, I'm finally doing art full time starting this year.
Congratulations.
You know, dig it. Prior to that, you know, I've been a handyman, apartment complex manager, and you know, in those fields, you can strive to be the best you've ever been. Like, you know, you learn. It's constantly learning new construction techniques or new products or new tools. But I'm very fortunate that in my current incarnation of being an artist full time, like, it really does allow you to set your own goals, and being able to do that really allows me to happily strive to do the best thing I've ever done every time.
100%. And then as we're circling back to the 29th, before we say goodbye, I want to make sure we plug the hell out of this, because if anyone's not been yet, I'm telling you, it's such a cool thing. And I'm not saying that because it's just on the screen, but that's the only way you describe it is cool. Because, I'm seeing people that all walks of life, whether you're a doctor, you name it, they're out there having fun. And I'll tell you, it's really a great time. So starting on the 29th, it's Kooliverse Couture Night. This starts at 6?
The doors at 6. Steph Plant starts off at 6. And basically, there's going to be no cover this time, too.
Really?
Yeah. Now, every single one of these events, I spend $300 to $500 of my own money.
Wow.
And because I don't want to throw a bad party. There's no use of throwing a bad party.
Yep.
Like I'm willing to I'm willing to lose $500 in this upcoming event because I want to. You know what? Let's have a good party.
Right.
Like and you know what? You need basically. You need some ingredients for a good party, and one of them is the crowd.
That's true.
You can have the best music, best art, and best food out, and nobody shows up, and you've just thrown a very expensive bad party.
That's true.
So help me out, people. Come to the party, have a good time. We've got everything set up. All you need to do is show up.
There you go, and making sure this works. Check out the events page on Facebook. That's where you are really good at staying up to date on that. I know the Conservatory is, but as Michael said earlier on, as we started off this conversation, it's not just Kooliverse Couture Night this week. I mean, this is the end of the year shaboozies at Conservatory. It starts with Kooliverse Couture Night. It ends with Spilly Nelson. In the middle, on the 30th, is Biff Gnarly right there. And that's a great venue. If you haven't been there to hear some music, oh man, the sound's incredible, and the way it looks is really great. And then by the time you get upstairs and see a lot of Michael's work, it's really just, I think, one of the best spots to be for a music venue.
Don't sleep on the upstairs. I've had people tell me that they've been there, and they're like, oh, they had an upstairs and not even go up there.
Oh,
So
no way.
You got to check it.
Yeah, that's the way to. Come on now, let me find out who that was. Because
It happens, man.
Oh
It
wow!
happens.
And man, thank you so much for stopping by and seeing me today. Best of luck on the 29th, and if you ever want to come back on, tell us what you're working on next, man. You're always welcome in that seat, and I mean that.
Brother, thank you so much. Thank you for helping the community find new and exciting things to do.
Thanks,
Appreciate
sir.
your support.
No problem. We'll take a quick break here, and we'll come back with maybe nothing else. I don't know. We haven't timed out the shows yet. We'll find out whenever I hit this button in the heart of the 618.